Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday morning chair yoga, or Monday midday chair yoga. It just falls at about that time of day. Today we are going to practice some standing poses. We've been sort of building our way up to it with strengthening various bits of the legs, but today we're going to focus on that after we have done our centering. So sitting towards the edge of your seat, just making sure your feet feel firm in the floor, perhaps using a block if you'd like one, and then allowing yourself to sit upright away from the back of the chair. Rest your hands wherever they feel comfortable, closing your eyes, or if you prefer, gazing gently downward. Take a moment to step away from everything else that's going on around you and step into your yoga space. We're going to devote the next 60 minutes to enhancing our feelings of well-being and calm, and perhaps even increasing our sense of vitality and strength, confidence. Who knows what might happen in a yoga class? So begin by taking note of how you feel in this moment, noticing the areas of general aches and pains or stiffness and tension, being sure throughout the practice to work kindly and compassionately with those parts of your body. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. As you concentrate on those feelings, allow them to spread out from wherever they are in your body, touching the areas that feel perhaps not so spacious, and just allowing a little easing and softening of tension. When you're ready, you can direct your awareness towards your breath and notice your natural, spontaneous breath. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully, that hasn't disturbed your noticing your breath too much. But thinking about the coolness of air coming in through the nostrils and the warmth of the breath as it leaves the body. When you're ready, you can begin to deepen your breath. Feel more of your body move as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Feel that sense of expanding through the sides of the body, the back and the chest, as you breathe in. As you breathe out, just gently engaging across the belly muscles to breathe out completely. Soften the belly, breathe deeply in, let the breath grow your body tall. As you breathe out, that long, slow exhale, gently engaging across the belly to breathe out fully. Keep breathing in this way. Deep in, slow and long out, engaging to exhale fully. Take another couple of deep breaths in this way. At the end of your next exhalation, drawing your chin towards your chest, just feeling that gentle length down the back of the neck without forcing or straining, giving yourself a soft smile, and then raising your head and opening your eyes if they've been closed. We're going to begin to roll our shoulders a little bit. Jesus. Okay, so here, as we sit, we're just going to do a few movements for the head and shoulders, and then we'll take our focus down to our feet and work up towards the core. So beginning just with the arms resting down to the sides, we're going to roll the shoulders up towards the ears, and they take them back behind the body to feel the shoulder blades move towards each other. And then keeping the shoulder blades back, just allow the shoulders to lower down and the fingertips to be heavy. And you find yourself in this sort of elevated, chest slightly lifted position. We're going to engage the belly muscles so that we're not flaring the ribs up. And also just center the head so it's not counterposing forward. Center the head back over the rest of the spine. And then here, just a gentle tip of the right ear towards the right shoulder, back to the center, and left ear to left shoulder. We're going to keep this position of the upper back being engaged as we move from side to side. And then as you come over to the right shoulder this time, just hanging out for a moment there, you might like to press your left palm down or reach the fingertips down a little bit more. You might like to gently lift and lower your chin just a touch as you lean over to the right. Nice and slow and steady movements. When you're ready, you can bring your chin towards your chest, relax your shoulders, and roll your head back to center. Roll the shoulders a couple of times, just notice the difference between the two sides of the body. Then roll the shoulders up to the ears, back behind the body, moving the shoulder blades towards each other, and glide those shoulder blades down, creating openness in the front of the body, engaging the belly muscles, maybe just a slight tuck under of the tailbone, lengthening the crown of your head, taking the left ear to the left shoulder. And here, if you wish to, you can press the right palm to the floor, or you can just reach the fingertips down. And if you wish to add something more, you can slowly, with control, lift and lower your chin. Still in that side bend position, with the neck just easing, finding space. The next time your chin comes down, allow your chin to come to your chest and the shoulders to relax. Give yourself a soft smile and come back to the center. And then just roll the shoulders. Make any movements with your neck that feel good so you can ease out some of that effort. Very good. So let us come to focusing on the feet now. I know it's really quite hard to see my feet against the floor, but follow the instructions and it will be just as good, I think. So we're going to start by lifting the heels up and then placing them down, lifting the toes up and placing them down. So we're just rocking backwards and forwards across the feet, both feet doing the same thing. And as you just notice what's happening in your feet, see if you can feel the weight, the effort coming to the inside corner of the front of the foot. So that place where the big toe joins the ball of the foot, and that will stop your ankles moving out to the side as your heels come off the floor. So we want to keep the heels centered as it comes forward, keeping that awareness moving to that inner front corner of the foot as the heels come up. As the toes come off the floor, we can see if that feels like a center point in the back of the heel that is in contact with the floor. Just a few more backwards and forwards. I find as soon as I lose the awareness of focusing on the front inside corner of the foot, my this side ankle likes to go out to the side. The other one, not so much. It's a bit funny. Wonderful. So when we're ready, coming back to center, we're going to bring the feet all the way together and then lifting onto the toes, take the heels out, lifting onto the heels, take the toes out, and so on and so forth until you get as wide as feels comfortable, and then coming back the opposite way. So heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. One more time all the way out. We might do a bit more of this standing up as well, and then all the way in. Very good. And then taking the feet slightly apart, the same thing, but moving both feet at the same time. So allowing both feet in the same direction, rather, allowing the feet to go to one side and then go to the other side. And you might find that you turn slightly in your chair. That's okay. We'll do one more time all the way in one direction. And then all the way in the other direction. It's just quite a nice workout for the low legs. And coming back to center. Very good. We're going to sit back into our chairs so that we can keep the thighs supported by the chair itself, the chair seat a little bit more. And if you would like to, you can hold on to your chair back or your chair seat for a little bit of extra support, or you can engage the belly muscles, same thing. We're going to let the legs come out in front of us, one leg straightened, one leg bent, as we just ease some movement into the knees here. So we want to find a little bit of strength by extending into the heel of the foot as the leg straightens. It's quite nice to do that. You'll feel the muscles here at the front of the thighs working. And then we're going to do a few with the toes pointed. So when you point the toes, you might need to flex the foot again as the foot comes down towards the floor. When you point the toes, you get a different sensation across the front of the ankle, which is quite nice. And just going from side to side, practicing that inner lift is so useful in our stability through the center. When you're ready, relaxing both legs down, just giving your feet a little swing from side to side, as long as you're not going to kick anything. Or you can circle the feet so that the low leg moves, but the knees, well, the other bit from the knee downwards it moves. There we are. And then we're going to lengthen both legs out in front. You can lift them as high as feels comfortable. Lower down is absolutely fine. And just rolling the ankles. And so we release some of that effort we've made in the feet and go the opposite way as well. Smashing stuff. When we've done this, we can come back to the front of the seat, but we're going to take the corner of the seat. So we want to have as much space around us as possible, but still feel secure in where we're sitting. And here, try and get my feet on the screen. So here we're going to let the knees come to one side and then to the other. So you can pivot on whatever part of the foot it feels good to pivot on, maybe rolling to the inner foot and outer foot, and then pivoting to the opposite side. And we're trying to keep the upper body quite still while the low body moves, just gently side to side. If this feels uncomfortable at all, you don't need to do it, or you can lean slightly back, which gives you a bit more space in the hips, might be a bit easier to do. Just practicing in a way that feels useful. Lovely. Just gentle side to side. Fantastic stuff. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, and we're going to take ourselves sideways on our chairs so that we can use the back for a little bit of support, coming to the front of your seat so that your bottom is really well supported. Maybe the bonier bits in your bottom find that support. And we're going to draw one knee into the chest, and then, no, let's do the outside knee first. One knee into the chest, hold on to your chair back, and just see if you can lift the other leg as well and bring it into your chest. So you're balancing on your buttocks. The chest is lifted. If you feel comfortable, you can let go of the chair and just hold both underneath both thighs to hold them towards you. Little lift in the belly muscles here, length through the back of the body, and thinking about keeping your chest open. If it feels good, you can hold here for another deep breath. If you feel really good, you can lift your feet. So knees bent, but feet lifted. That's a little bit more challenging for the body. And then when you're ready to come down, you can either hold on, lower one leg and then the other, or you might have been holding on already. You simply let go. as long as you feel comfortable doing that. So once we've done that, we're going to come round to facing the way that our chair is going and do our little sit to stand. So make sure enough of your buttocks are on the chair and perhaps even the upper thighs, just to support, so you know the chair is going to be there when you sit back down again. Feet underneath the knees, belly muscles lifted, gently reach forward and float up and down. If it doesn't happen the first couple of times, you can give yourself a little rock, 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 and come to your feet. You can use your arms for a bit of support to rock forwards and backwards. Pressing into the feet, using the muscles of the legs. One more floating like this. And then we're going to come all the way up to standing. Float, stand tall, open the arms wide, and then back the way. Reach the arms forward, bending at the knees, reach the tailbone backward, lightly kiss the buttocks to the chair. Float forward, stand tall, open the arms wide, reach the hands forward, reach the seat to the bottom backwards, and sit down. One more of these, coming up, and then releasing down. And then we're going to stagger the feet and do the same thing. So step forward with your, or leave your left foot where it is, but bring your right foot back towards you. You can open the left foot more forward if you like. And so you've got pressing into the right toes, but left foot firmly on the floor. If you're unsure about doing this, make sure you're next to something for support. So a wall is fantastic, or the back of a sofa, a table, kitchen counter, whatever it might be. And you can keep your hand on that support throughout the practice. So here we can reach forward, just find that crouch and press all the way tall, and then back the way. Reaching forward, bending at the knees, reaching the tailbone backwards, sitting into your seat. Two more like this. If you prefer to bring your feet parallel again, just do 3 more of those ones. So reaching forward, standing all the way tall, feet are staggered, and then reaching forward, sitting the tailbone back. One more like this, reaching forward, standing all the way tall, reaching forward as the tailbone moves back, and sitting down. And we swap feet. Right foot forward, left foot back. Got that slight stagger, doesn't need to be much, and if you prefer to work parallel, you can. Use a wall or some other support if you're unsure. Firm in the belly, press into the feet to hover, and then stand. Coming back the way, hovering, gently kissing the buttocks to the chair. Reaching forward to hover and stand. And then reaching back the way to sit gently down. Last time, reaching forward, hover and stand. And this time, we're just going to stand up, stand with both feet together, give our shoulders a little wiggle, hips a little wiggle, and we're up to standing, which is great. So I'm going to move my chair ever so slightly out of the way, so it's handy, and you can keep yours as close to you as you would like. And then we'll take our catty chakrasnas. So we might need to give our legs a little shake out. Feel free to hold on to support as you do that. They've done a lot of work already, so it's quite nice to give them that easing. And then nice wide feet, a little soft in the knees, and a gentle twist from side to side. Here, begin letting your hips just fall wherever they like. Let the arms and shoulders and hands be nice and relaxed. So as they wrap around the body, you feel them tap on the body. The tapping is part of the practice. So it's part of what stimulates our energy in this pose. So try to allow that to happen. You just need to soften the elbows enough that the arms wrap around the body. That doesn't matter where they fall, but if you feel compelled to tap in a certain place, then you can. It's not a problem. And then you might like to practice trying to press into the feet, use the buttocks to keep the hips nice and still. You can even keep your head still as well, and just allow the body to spin from the waist up a little bit more. You can turn your head if you prefer, just however you choose. Just keeping the hips more centered, working in the legs to do that. And then when you're ready, just allowing the hips to fall freely again, maybe pivoting on your toes if you enjoy that. And then if you wish to, you can add a soft bend in the knees. Now we've done a lot with the thighs already, so you might prefer not to do that. But if you don't mind, you can add it. Touching the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite hip or bottom of the rib cage behind you, if that feels okay to do so. The belly muscles are still gently lifted. We've still got that sense of connecting into our strong core. And then when you're ready, you can just let your bounce go. Bring your feet to steadiness and sway slowly back to center. As you come to center, standing all the way tall again, dropping the fingertips down, finding length in the back of the neck, maybe taking a moment with the eyes gently closed or gazing downward, finding that stillness, noticing the effect of your practice so far. Very good. Blinking your eyes open whenever you're ready. I think it's time to take the jumper off now that I've wriggled around a bit, feeling a bit warmer. So if you would like to layer off at any time, of course, you can please yourself in the comfort of your own home. It's all good. We are going to come now to use our chairs for just a bit of support for our standing practice. So we've prepared the feet, the low legs, and we need to do just a little bit more for the hips. So we're going to stand next to our chairs and move the outside leg. So it doesn't matter if you're facing your chair or standing to the side of it. Wherever you are, have your feet a comfortable distance apart. And we're going to start with this lift in the body. And we can free the outside leg and just make a few movements with it. We're not looking for anything in particular. It's just a little swinging. You might feel it's easier to lift your toes from the floor to do that. A little swinging. And then if you enjoy the swinging backwards and forwards, you can try a little swinging out to the side and across in front of the body or across behind the body. If you like to do that too, you might need to point your toes a little bit to do that, or do a little bit forwards and backwards, side to side, front and back. Any kind of movements here is good. And then finish with a little bit more swinging straight forwards and backwards. And then step onto both feet. So notice if you feel that effect in the opposite leg or in the same leg. I'm going to use the wall for my other side, but you can spin yourself round in your space or use support on the other side of your body. So again, starting with standing tall and just allowing your outside leg to swing in any way that feels good. So we're not trying to activate anything in the legs themselves very much. We're really focusing on activating the core and the upper back to help us stand tall as we make these movements. And then if front and back feels good, you can try across the body in front of you and out to the side. And if that feels good, across the body behind you and out to the side. Then maybe a little bit forwards and backwards or in front and behind. And then finishing with some more of the swinging straight backwards and forwards. Very good. When you're ready, stepping onto both feet, and hopefully now you can feel that effect that's been had in both of the legs. It's usually the standing leg that feels the effect, which is counterintuitive, but the standing leg is resisting all of those movements. It's having to work really hard to stay steady and stable. And that's the magic of the motion. So we're going to come to our first side again. We maybe shake out the legs a little bit. If you feel your legs getting tired at any stage, feel free to take a rest out of any of the practices. Just join in again when you're ready. This time we're going to move with our outside leg again. We're going to start with the toes out to the side and bring the knees together as we bend that heel up off the floor, that foot up off the floor. So now we've got the knees moving together, a slight internal rotation on this outside leg, and then we're going to bring the toes to the ankle. So we're external rotation. So we're rolling the knee inwards, heel of the foot and foot goes outwards, and then rolling the foot inwards and the knee goes outwards. Doesn't matter how much movement you've got here. If it's just a little, that's great. If you're moving through a fuller range of movement, that's great too. So we move it or lose it. So we use it or lose it rather. We need to move it and use it to maintain our range of movement and to develop it if we wish to. Standing leg is a little bit soft in the knee, and that is activated in the buttock and the belly muscles. Let's do one more, in and out. And then we're going to step onto both feet. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. March in place just to even everything out. Very good. And then if you need to, you can give your hips any kind of wiggles. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So adjusting your position in your space if you need to. We're standing tall, and then we're just taking, how did we start? Oh yes, taking the toe out to the side, my bad, and bringing the knees together so that your foot is out to the side, but your knees are turned inwards. So there's the outside leg that moves, the inside leg is stabilizing, and then we can turn the toes towards the ankle and the knee out to the side, the knee inwards and the foot outwards. So it's a movement coming from the hip, and it's that internal rotation and then external rotation. Lovely job. Rolling inwards, rolling outwards, standing leg just a touch soft to activate it, nice and firm in the belly and the buttocks. Let's do, let's say 3 more here. I think we did rather a lot, didn't we? So 2 more. And last one. Turning inwards, turning outwards, stepping onto both feet, just allowing your weight to drop into your feet for a moment. Wiggle anything that needs wiggling, march in place. Smashing stuff. So we're going to use our chairs to do a little lengthening practice. So you might feel this in your buttocks, the sort of holding on of our practice, and that's okay. It's okay to feel effort from our practice. We're going to place the hands onto the chair, walk the feet back for our chair-based down dog, soft in the knees, feel your hips extend out behind you, and then lifting in the belly, pressing into the hands, just creating a little bit of extra length by swaying the hips from side to side, or you may feel better just holding in stillness in the center. Head can be anywhere from slightly above the arms to in between the arms. Try not to drop it down. Keep the back of the neck nice and lengthened. If you wish to hold a little stillness, you can. You can even try extending your tailbone even further behind you. And then when you're ready, walking towards your chair seat to come up into standing again. Lovely job. So take a moment, wiggle anything that needs wiggling, bring yourself back to that sort of, here, I'm steady, I'm stable, both feet are on the ground, all is well with the world. Okay, so we're going to move into a little warrior one pose. So come to your chair. I'm going to step back with my left leg first. It doesn't matter which one you choose, as long as you take note of which one, so you can do the opposite side first, second rather. So we're going to step back with the leg, left leg in this case for me. Right knee is a little bit bent. We want the left heel to be on the floor, and we're going to let the hips sort of fall wherever they may. So the left toes generally point a little bit out to the side, not all the way out to the side, but just a little. So mostly forward. And then here we've got the front knee just a touch bent. We're going to lengthen the front knee. You can hold on with both hands or with one hand as you choose. And then bend the front knee as you push the back heel into the floor. And the effect is then to imagine you're pushing both feet into the floor and away from you ever so slightly so that you get this sense of real strength and grounding. We're going to lengthen the front knee again. Bend into the front knee as you press into that back foot. And whilst you do that, just see if you can tuck your tailbone under, tuck it out, just moving with the hips until you find a place that feels really good, maybe activating the buttock, particularly on that side, lifting in the pelvic floor and the belly muscles. And then here we're going to come onto the ball of the left foot. So the back heel is going to lift. And then we're going to slowly lower it down. We're going to do that 2 more times. So lifting the back heel. You can use both hands on the chair, of course. Slowly lower down. Perhaps a point of focus ahead of you that's not moving for balance. Slowly lower down. And then keeping our stance, now that our legs are super active, we're going to reach the left arm forward. So same arm as the leg is back, reaching forward around the body, maybe twisting the chest if you want to as your arm moves. If you prefer, as you move, you can keep your chest facing the front. It's just a little stronger for the shoulder that way. One more time, circling around the body. And then coming back to the center. To come forward, we want to lift that left heel, soften the left knee, just find a little sway between the feet, so moving your weight backwards and forwards, and then lightly stepping your left foot in. Here, taking that downward dog just to release and walk the feet away from us. Nice wide feet, soft in the knees, quite bent in the knees, in fact, extending through the tailbone, maybe a gentle sway of the hips from side to side. Great job. You can hang out here for as long as you like, but if you want to carry on with the practice, walking your way back in, I'm going to move my chair to the opposite side so it's easier to demonstrate and make sure that I can still see the guys moving on their screens as well. But you can, of course, just stay where you are. We're going to step back with the opposite foot. That's the right foot for me. And just taking note of where we step to. The right toes maybe pointing slightly out to the right. The hips falling wherever it's comfortable for them to fall. And we start by lengthening the left knee. And then as we bend the left knee, think about pressing the right heel into the mat at the same time. So the right leg stays quite long here. Lengthening the left knee and then pressing into that back heel as we bend the front knee at the same time. Lengthening the front knee and then pressing into that heel, back heel, sorry, as we lengthen the front knee. Once we're here, this is us. We're going to maybe do a little gentle tucking under or wiggling around with the hips till we find a position of the pelvis that feels good. And then strong in the feet, they're pressing into the floor. We're going to lift the right heel, the back heel up, and then gently lower down. So gently taking that heel off the floor, really active in that back leg, and placing it down again. One more time like that, lifting the heel and then placing it down into the floor. We've got our legs really sorted, we're really strong and stable here, thinking about activating that right buttock, the belly muscles, the pelvic floor, and then taking the right arm. Can either be with the chest facing forwards around the body, or 2 more with the chest moving as well. So we hold on with the left hand and move the same leg that is back, that arm around the body. And then from here, we're going to lift that back heel again, soften both knees, just make your weight come forwards and backwards a little until you can lightly step forward with the back leg, and just give yourself a moment here, wiggle anything that needs wiggling. You can take that downward facing dog, hands onto the chair, walking your feet away from you, nice and soft in the knees, extending through your tailbone, lifting in the belly muscles. You might like to swing your hips from side to side or gently lengthen one leg and then the other, getting a sort of rotation through the upper body as well, maybe even turning the head from side to side. You might like to press into the arms a little bit more, into the hands. Just doing whatever feels good. And when you're ready, looking towards your chair seat, walking your way back in to stand tall. Take as long as you like as you come to an upright position to make sure you feel stable and steady. But when you're ready, you can take a deep breath in, take the arms around the body and up. Deep breath out, bringing the palms down to the center of the chest. And we'll do 2 more like that. Deep breath in. See if you can lift your chest, lift your belly. And deep breath out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Lovely job. Relax the arms to the side. Just wriggling through the shoulders, wriggling through the hips. Awesome sauce. So we are going to do a little Trikonasna now, triangle pose. And it's actually really helpful to have a wall for triangle pose. You can do it against the wall so that you've got the support. If you topple backwards, not a problem at all. You've got the wall for support. But if you haven't a wall to hand, that is okay. We are going to use our chairs anyway. So we want to step the feet wide enough apart that the chair is within easy reach for us, the chair seat. And you can even turn it around so that the chair, your front foot, the one that's nearest the chair, is underneath the chair a little, and then you know for sure the chair is going to be there. For those who have any hip sensitivities, you might want to keep both feet facing forwards, like in the direction of your chest. But if you don't, you can turn both feet towards the chair. So you get that external rotation and internal rotation. One hip does one hip does the other. And here we're trying to keep our legs lengthened, but not locked straight. So as soon as we do that, we relax the muscles in the legs. But if you can keep a little touch of softness across the knees, that encourages the muscles that support, particularly around the thighs, to stay active, stay engaged. That's what we're looking for. Here we're going to take the arms out to the side, reaching into the fingertips, drawing the shoulder blades down the back towards each other. Find that lift in your belly muscles, and then just lean over your chair foot. So in this case, it's my left foot, reaching towards the chair, and you can take your hand down to your chair back, or if you've got a ladder like me, you can walk down the chair back, or you can take your hand to the chair seat. Doesn't matter where it goes to. We're going to reach the other arm right up towards the ceiling, if possible, with your palm facing forwards in the same direction as your chest. Here, just taking a deep breath in, nice softness across the knees so that the muscles of the legs are engaged, a lift in the belly muscles, firm in the buttocks. To come out, press your top palm up towards the ceiling to give you some lift, come up. And we're going to release the arms down. And if your feet have been turned, I'm going to turn them back to be straight, the way our chest is turned when we come up to standing. Awesome sauce. We're going to do that one more time on this side before we swap to the other side, because it's nice. Sometimes we only get a chance to do something once, but today we're going to do it twice. So either with feet facing forward or turning both feet towards your chair. And it doesn't really matter how far around you turn your feet, that's entirely up to you. Your hips, though, just allow them to fall wherever they naturally go with your feet in that direction. Do not try to make your hips face the direction that your feet were originally facing in, okay? Just wherever they naturally fall. We're going to take the arms out to the side and reach into the fingertips. Find real great space across the upper back and the chest. And then from here, firm in the belly, the feet, the buttocks, the pelvic floor, a little soft across the knees, reaching that front hand forward towards your chair. Reach for your chair back, any place on your chair back or your chair seat, and then reach your top arm up. And here we want to have that palm facing forward, as I say. So it's quite common for people to do this with the palm facing backwards, which brings the top shoulder forwards. If you can do it with your palm facing forwards, your top shoulder can release backwards. Nice lift through the belly muscles, perhaps a length through the crown of your head. You can even look up or look straight forward. Try to avoid looking down. And then take a smile as you take a deep breath. Turn the top palm up to the ceiling, press up into that hand, coming back to an upright position, turning your feet back to the way they originally pointed. Now your chest is pointing in that direction too. And we're going to bring the heels in, the toes in, the heels in, the toes in, the heels together to stand tall. Excellent work. So I'm going to turn my chair to the other side, so I can still do this and face you guys as well. But you can simply step towards your chair and step back with the opposite foot if you like. So, yes, that's all good. So we're going to step with our feet nice and wide apart. If you can get the opposite foot, this is my right foot, underneath the chair, that's great, because it gives you a little bit more closeness to the contact. And we want the feet to point straight. For anyone with sensitive hips, you will do this with your feet pointing straight. You won't have to worry about where your hips fall. But if you want to, you can turn both feet towards your chair, making sure that you're doing the opposite side. So letting your hips fall wherever they may, keeping that touch of softness across the knees, but that lift through the center of the body, reaching the arms nice and wide, reach into your fingertips. Draw the shoulder blades perhaps a little closer together to open the chest as well. And we're going to reach forward towards the chair seat, taking your hand down to the back, maybe one of the ladders if you feel inclined, or the chair seat itself, and then raising your other arm up towards the ceiling. Here, making sure the palm is facing forwards so that you can soften that shoulder backwards. If you've got one shoulder that doesn't like this extended position of the arm, you can drop your hand to your waist. Not a problem at all. Still working the shoulder blades towards each other to open the chest, still lengthening through the torso and lifting in the belly muscles. To come up, reaching your hand up or away, palm facing away to come up to standing, and releasing the arms down to the side, turning both feet to face to where your chest is facing unless you're already there. Giving yourself a little wiggle, and then we'll do this one more time. So that period of rest is quite nice, but we don't want to lose the shape with the legs. It's all good conditioning for our body. Turning the feet towards your chair seat if you're practicing that variation, and just allowing your hips to fall wherever they may. A little firmness and lift, touch of softness across the knees, reaching the arms wide, reaching into the fingertips. Imagine someone's pulling you with that front hand. It's the lateral bend over the front leg to find the chair back or the chair seat, and then reaching your behind hand, back arm up towards the ceiling, or bending it to your waist if you prefer. Little length in the crown of the head into the back of the neck, lift in the belly muscles, just making sure you can open that top shoulder backwards, lengthening into the arms a little more if you like, using the arm that's down for a bit of support as much as is needed. You can do this more with the center of your body and less with the arms if you prefer. To come up, turn the palm up to the ceiling, come back to standing, release the arms down, turn your feet back to the center, and then gently heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. Nice buoyancy through the knees to bring your legs back to center. Take a moment. They don't need to touch. You can just have your feet quite close together. Taking a moment, wiggle anything that needs wiggling. And we will make our way back to our chairs for a little. Oh, do you know what? Before we do that, we'll do a tiny standing twist. So this is just for, no, we'll save it for next time. Apologies, guys. We'll save it for next time. We'll prep it better next time and I'll use it. So Going to put on any extra layers that you'd like. I'm going to put my jumper back on because it's so cozy, and today it's beautifully bright, but it's really cold. So it was -5 here this morning. I know one of my mat yogis in the first class, they'd had some snow there in Torridon, and overnight there was big snow. Now, I want to just put my relaxation things to one side so that I can do a little twist with you guys before we come to relaxation. So we're going to have the feet close together. For those who are comfortable, you could cross the right ankle over the left ankle or cross the right thigh over the left thigh. There's no need to practice either of those variations. You can do this with your feet and knees together, and it is very similar. We're going to sit really, really tall and turn to the right side. So here, keeping the ankles, knees, and thighs towards each other, then that's a really active engagement through the legs, reaching the left hand across the body, the right hand behind the body, seated spinal twist, lengthening through to the crown of the head, soften the shoulders, turning your head to wherever feels comfortable for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then returning to center, any way that you choose. And if you wish to, you can cross the left ankle over the right ankle, or the left thigh over the right thigh, or simply keep the feet together, just as if you were glued, magnetized between the knees and the ankles, sitting really tall and turning to your left, right hand across the body, left hand behind you. Feel that length in the back of the body, a lift in the belly muscles, and just turning into that side, holding as you breathe. Maybe just for one more long, deep breath. When you're ready, releasing out any way that feels good. Maybe a brief turn from side to side, and then we can prepare ourselves for relaxation. So we're going to bring, I'm using blocks underneath the feet, but you don't need to. Wrap yourself up in any way that feels good. I do like to wrap up. So I get the blanket all the way around. It's very exciting. I'm not going to admit to sitting on the sofa like this of an evening, but I do. Okay, so just moving your weight back into your chair back, making sure that you feel that you're able to release into something, so you get that feeling of being able to let go of some of the effort of standing. We've done an awful lot of standing, so we've made lots of effort with the body today. Enjoy the sensation of being more supported and being able to soften some of that effort. Rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. If you want, you can tuck them inside your blanket. And then when you're ready, you can gently close your eyes. Let's do a little lion's breath. So we're going to screw all the muscles of the face in towards the nose, make a tight lemon-sucking face. Then eyes open, mouth open, tongue out, exhale. And relax. One more time, screwing the muscles of the face in towards the nose, a tight lemon-sucking face. And then eyes open, mouth open, tongue out, exhale. And relax. Gently turn your head from one side to the other. Make any final adjustments and movements. And bring your body to stillness. Eyes gently closed. Take a long, deep breath in and sigh really gently out through your mouth. A long, deep breath in Let all the effort of your practice go. A long, deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Last deep breath in and surrender your weight back and down. Allow your breath to fall back into its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead and allow it to soften. That space between the eyebrows, spreading, separating, the area around your eyes, releasing your mouth, tongue, and jaw, relaxing. Feel that sensation of ease across the scalp from the crown of the head, the back of the head, both sides of the head. Feel that softening down the neck, the throat, into the shoulders, allowing the head, neck, and shoulders to be heavy, to be resting down. Allow that sense of softness and heaviness come into the arms, through the elbows, wrists, into the fingers and hands. Allow the arms to feel released and relaxed. Allow that sense of release to come through the upper back, middle back, low back, the sides of the torso, the chest, rib cage, abdomen. Allow the whole of the torso to feel soft and heavy and relaxed. Allow that sense of softness and heaviness to be in the pelvis, the buttocks, the legs, especially the backs of the legs, knees, ankles, feet and toes. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, to feel releasing, relaxing, moving down. With the whole body releasing and relaxing. Move your awareness to your breath. Find that slow, rhythmic, soft breath. The breath that tells your body and your mind, I am contented. I am comfortable. I am at ease. I am at peace. I am still. And resting, remaining in that stillness throughout the relaxation. Or gently begin to deepen your breath and bring your awareness back into your physical body, feeling your arms and legs, your hands and feet, moving your fingers and toes, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. You might like to stretch the face and yawn. You might like to ease from one side to the other. When you're ready, you can gather yourself back to center, just resting one hand on top of the other or side by side around the chest. Take this moment to remember that all of the effort that you make in your yoga practice is reflected in your life, in the interactions that you have both physically with the space around you, but also in your breath and in your mind, in your emotions. And so what we have done today is a practice that is all about strength, inner strength, as well as the strength of our bodies. And that inner strength gives us confidence. The strength in our bodies gives us confidence in the movements that we make and the balance that we have. And in our emotions, we have fortitude, willpower, commitment. And so happy in this knowledge, let's give ourselves a gentle smile. When you're ready, you can raise your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining in this practice today. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was quite a tough one in parts, so don't be surprised if you feel that your body is a little bit more tired than our usual sessions. And do take care to rest when you get the opportunity. Namaste.